Today I'm speaking with Ariel Garten. She is the creator of the Muse, which you can see here. This is a device that helps you to meditate. It helps you to sleep. It helps you with your breath work. It is a whole thing of education. So today we're talking about the benefits of meditation and how this device can help you as well. So stay tuned. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast for this week. This week, we're going to be doing something very unique and different. For those of you who are watching the video of this, you can see I'm wearing what looks like a sweatband, but it is not. It is actually one of my favorite new gadgets that I've got my hands on to recently. And the creator of this little gadget, which is called a Muse, I have with me today. So please welcome Ariel Garten. How are you, darling?
Hello, Natalie. I'm delightful. It's fantastic to be here with you today. And lovely Muse you've got there.
I know, right? I was just talking with Ariel before and saying how I had the previous version of this, and the new and improved version is something that I've been so excited about. For those of you who follow me through Mind Movies, you know that I talk a lot about how do we set ourselves up for optimization. Part of that is making sure that we have regular breaks, that we take time out so that we can reset. And this little device is fantastic for that. It helps us when we're meditating. It helps us with breath work, trying to get to sleep, a whole ton of different things. And so we are going to do a little demonstration. But before we do that, I just would like to give some people a context of a little bit about your story and, what was your inspiration in creating, the Muse?
Thank you. And also super exciting. I didn't know that you'd had one years earlier.
Yeah.
So you were one of our very, very early adopters. And, kudos to you for being on the forefront of tech with everything that you do. It's awesome.
Thank you.
So my own story begins with a little girl who is very curious about the world and just wanted to know how everything worked. I wanted to know how the world worked. Why are things hard? I wanted to know how my brain worked. Why am I thinking that this thing is hard? Why am I perceiving it that way? And I went on to school to study neuroscience and psychology. And the whole time was really trying to figure out how it is that I could help people understand what was going on inside their mind.
Right.
And after university, I started collaborating with Dr. Steve Mann. He's one of the inventors of the wearable computer. And he had an early brain-computer interface system in his lab. And we started to actually create concerts where you'd slip on an EEG headband and you could hear what was going on in your mind by listening to the sounds in the room. So as you would focus, the sound would get louder. As you would relax, the sound would get quieter. And from there, I stood back and said, this is amazing. This is incredible. What are we going to do with it? And I got together with my co-founders, Chris Amity and Trevor Coleman, and we started to really experiment with how we could give people feedback on their own mind and ultimately recognize that we had a tool that could help make meditation easy.
Right.
So from this, early EEG experimentation in the laboratory, we realized that if we could do that same thing, but with meditation, actually show people or let people hear when they were meditating, when they were focused and relaxed, and when their mind was wandering, we could really help the process of meditation be easier, more actionable, and data-driven. Words you don't typically hear with meditation, but that really help you get the outcomes of a meditation practice and all the benefits of it.
Yeah. Because I don't know about you, but I know with a lot of women that I speak to, they I think I'm meditating. I'm not sure if I'm actually doing it right, but this takes all the guesswork out of it. You know exactly when you're, in a meditative state. And like I said, I often use it if I need a bit of a break and to get away from the computer. And sometimes I'll have a lot of things going through my mind. But by using the Muse, it helps me to realize, wait a minute, I'm out of it right now. I need to bring myself back to center and concentrate on my breath again and get back into a place. And you can, but because of the sounds that come up, you can, when you're in, that meditative state, which is just, it's fantastic. And you can keep a track of all your results. So you can see how you're improving along the way. And I mean, we have meditations of like all different lengths. So you can meditate for a minute if you want, you can meditate for 20 minutes or as long as you like. So it's really, I find it so easy to use, and it's just so flexible, So I think what we're going to do, we want to demonstrate what a meditation looks like and how that works and what the results are on it, or, what it calibrates for you and measures for you. And then we're going to talk about some of the other cool features, like how it helps you to sleep. And there's breath work and a whole bunch of other things in here. There's a lot of information. So, all right, so let's do this. This is the first time we're doing this. We're flying blind, but we'll see how we go. So, all right. So I have a meditation that's ready to go. So how about I just play the meditation and then we could talk more about what's happening afterwards. How does that sound?
Sure. So in order to make this actually interesting for the people who are listening, I'm actually going to guide a meditation out loud.
Excellent.
Yeah. So that you'll be able to do it with your Muse and get the real-time feedback from your brain. And everybody who's listening will actually be able to just have a lovely few minutes of a break without biofeedback and without data, but actually do the meditation, because the hardest part of having a meditation practice is actually sitting down and doing it, creating the time. So let's give 3 minutes to everybody here.
Okay.
So if you are, driving, please don't meditate. If you're in a place where meditation is available to you right now, take the time and join us.
So I'm just going to press play.
Yep. So Natalie has her headset on. And she's gone through the setup and the calibration, and she's pressing play. And she has chosen the rainforest soundtrack. And so when she's focused on her breath, it'll be quiet. And as her mind wanders away, she will hear the sound of the rain pick up. So in meditation, most of us think, oh, my mind's supposed to be blank. I'm thinking about nothing. That's not actually the case. What you want to be doing is learning how to shift the relationship with your mind, to take your mind out of its wandering space and bring it into focused attention on your breath. So I invite everybody now to sit comfortably. Take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders and let the tension go out of your shoulders. Close your eyes if it's comfortable to do so. Relax your forehead and your cheeks. Relax the muscles in your stomach. And take a deep breath in and out. And bring your attention just to your breath, feeling it rise and fall. At some point, your mind might wander away from your breath onto the grocery list or something else. It's okay. Just gently bring it back. And with each breath, filling with beautiful, life-giving air. With each exhale, allowing deeper relaxation. Take a few more breaths, even deeper. And when you're ready, come on back to the room. Open your eyes. And be ready for the rest of an amazing day. How was that?
Great.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling very centered. And this is, for me, this is what I love about meditation. It kind of gets me grounded again and gets me back to a place of center. Because, especially this morning, I've had so many things going on. And so now it helps me it's like I clean the slate. So that, rather than having a cup of coffee or something else that's going to empower me through, I find that meditation is a really clean and healthy way to have that, that reset in the afternoons, Right. So now what do? I have to go. I just end my session.
Yep. You end the session.
Yep.
And then you can choose your mood, because Muse will log your mood for you, so you can track how your meditation was when you look back at your data.
Yep. Great.
And then if you want to actually put your results up to the screen, we can look at them.
Right. So we can see that we have,
Awesome. So you're only seeing the results right at the end because we had set it up and then paused for the magic of.
And even heart rate and everything as well. So
yeah. So you can see your heart rate, how it was going through the session, you can see how it decreased as you began your meditation.
Yep.
And then stayed low until the end when I brought you back out. You can see in the top graph was your mind, when it wandered and when it was on your breath. You can see your stillness.
Yep.
And how your stillness correlates with your focus and your heart rate.
Yeah. But with these results, it also goes through, you can look back for the month or for the year or for the whatever. So you can actually see your progress as well, which is what I love about it too. So, yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel like your practice has progressed?
My practice has definitely improved, because and today this is probably a little bit screwy with the results, because I'm on a podcast. But I find it I get into a meditative state a lot faster. I find that it's easier for me to drop in and have everything calm down when I first go into my meditation. Before I'd be like, okay, I'd be playing a recording, but then I would after a while go, and realize that my mind was wandering or whatever. But with Muse, it helps me to identify straight away when that's happening. So I go, right, I can come back to center again. So yeah, it's definitely been improved. And the thing is, when I leave the Muse out in my place where I meditate, it's like a reminder that I need to do it, or that, that I'm going to do that as well. So it kind of helps me to stay on track and have that discipline, which is awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I actually was a wannabe meditator before I created Muse. I was trained as a neuroscientist. I was working as a psychotherapist at the time, working in research labs, and I would be teaching my patients that meditation was good for them. And I would completely suck at it myself. So I'd be sitting there like my patients, trying to meditate, and my mind would be bouncing all over the place. And I'm like, am I doing this right? And then I'd feel terrible because I'm like, I don't know if I'm actually even good at this. And then I just sort of get up and be like, yep, that was my meditation.
Yeah.
And it was actually through the process of building Muse and using it as a tool myself that I began to understand what a quote unquote good meditation was, and really be able to drop into that zone and be reinforced for staying there. And now can bring that to myself anytime I want. So, it becomes a practice that I do for 10 minutes on the mat in the morning, and then I bring myself into throughout the day as I need to.
Yeah. And also for me, it helps me when I'm in moments like if I'm in traffic or if I'm, waiting for something, because I tend to get a little impatient. I don't close my eyes, but I start to calm my breath. I start to focus on my breathing. And even though I'm not in a closed eyes meditation, it's like I'm an open-eyed meditation, but I'm helping to calm everything down as well. So it's easier to get into that practice in practical situations, not just when I've got the time to sit at home and do it through the day.
That's exactly the point.
Yeah.
It's you train on the mat so that when you go through life, you've got the skill there. It's like going to the gym. You work out at the gym, Not just because you're working at the gym, but because when you then go through your life, it's like, oh, I can carry my groceries easily.
Yeah.
Oh, I can lift my nephew up when he jumps on me and it didn't hurt and I wasn't scared.
Yeah. Yeah. And all the, other drivers on the road aren't driving me crazy and a bunch of
That's a
other.
helpful one.
Yeah, yeah. But what we were talking about before, and this has been wonderful, is the addition, the whole sleep addition to the Muse, because the original version didn't have that, and I'm so happy that you've included that in this updated version, because I think there's a lot of women who are listening to this podcast right now that are going, yes, sleep. And for me, sleep, like if I don't get my 8 hours, I am not a happy camper. And my sleep has really changed a lot as I've got older, and especially going through menopause. It's like, sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. And I don't like to take anything to sleep. I take a little bit of melatonin sometimes, but I realize that after a while, if I do that a few nights in a row, I just feel this, this buildup, and I'm just not as sharp and I'm not as motivated during the day. So walk us through, the meditations and the things that you have for sleep and why it's so important and how we can use it.
Sure. So one of the things that is very dear to our heart is sleep. And I have to say, I'm 43, I'm in perimenopause, and I get it. You wake up absolutely sweaty and this phenomenal new experience, and you're like fanning yourself with the bedcloths. And so meditation has made a dramatic difference. And so what we do with Muse is we have something that we actually call the digital sleeping pill. We're also not into taking stuff to help you sleep. So this is an audio experience that's actually based on biofeedback from your body. You slip on the Muse as you're going to go to bed, and then you're hearing guided meditations or stories along with soundtracks that are actually built from your body. And they're designed to help your brain fall asleep more easily. And we actually tested this. Dr. Adrian Owen from the University of Western Ontario ran a study with 150 people, and he demonstrated that using Muse to help you fall asleep helped people fall asleep, stay asleep, and improve sleep quality by 20%.
Yeah.
So it's quite amazing.
Yeah.
And if you...
Sorry, I was going to say, we were also talking about it, because for me, sometimes I can get to sleep, but then I'll wake up, at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock or something. And then it's like trying to get back to sleep. It's great for that as well.
Yeah. So if you wear the Muse throughout the night, so it's a comfy thing you can wear through the night if you choose to. And then if you wake up in the middle of the night, the Muse will wake up along with you and then bring back in automatically the same story or soundtrack that helped you fall asleep in the first place. And so it actually guides you back into sleep, which is an amazing, amazing tool if you're somebody who is starting to experience frequent night wake-ups from, going to the bathroom or heat, or your husband himself becoming more of a snorer as time goes on.
Yes, we can all relate to that.
I literally just texted the dentist to say, I think we need a sleep apnea assessment on the other side of the bed here.
Right. But then sometimes it's us as well. Like we don't realize, that our movement and our sleep, our breathing patterns change as well. And so, to have it something that's, that helps me with I call it the duvet dance. Sometimes you'll go to bed and then you'll just have one arm out, then you'll have one leg out, and then it's all the way off, and then it's all the way back on again. And then your partner wants to cuddle, which is great for like 3 seconds. You're like, okay, I'm sweating, get on me. So there's, nighttime is just a whole other minefield right now. And to have something like this that's going to help to, gently get you back into that sleep is just amazing. I love it.
So meditation has been fundamental to me getting back to sleep. Right. And part of what it is the mental shift around acceptance of what's going on. So meditation, yes, teaches you to be in the moment, to manage your thoughts, and it also helps you accept what is. So in the past, if I woke up because my husband kicked me or I was too sweaty or, any host of there's a noise outside, I would be frustrated at that thing. It's like,
Yes.
Now I wake up sweaty with perimenopause, and it's like, it initially was like, oh my God, I'm sweaty. This is awful. The sheets are getting wet. This is gross. And as I applied a meditation practice to it and what I'd been learning with sleeping with Muse, now when I wake up, it's like, oh, okay, I'm a little sweaty, and I no longer care. I don't have resistance to the experience. It's not like, oh, this is awful. All of the thoughts that I had around it, I've been able to kind of let go and transform and just say, yes, it is what it is. Big deal. Go back to sleep. And I do.
Yeah.
Like that has been so huge.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. I mean, waking up too early, again, even though I might get back to sleep and overall I have 8 hours, if I do that wake up and it takes me too long to get back to sleep, then my day is just shot. I hate that. Now, the other thing that you have as well is a whole section on breath work. And breath work seems to be like a big buzzword at the moment. Everyone's talking about breath work. So for those, for our listeners who are not familiar with what that is, can you explain a little bit about what that is and how Muse really helps you, with that breath work as well?
Absolutely. So we all breathe and we all do it quite well because we're humans and we're alive and we breathe. But our breath is actually the key to our shifting our physiological state. So with each breath that we take, the way that we take that breath can either serve to energize us or relax us. And so when we put intention around the different ways that we breathe, we can realize that it's an incredibly powerful tool to help you shift state. So some examples of different kinds of breathing are box breathing, where you'll breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, and then hold for 4. Or alternate nostril breathing, where you're breathing from one nostril and then breathe out from the other nostril. And as you do this, you're actually sending signals to it's called the vagus nerve. It's the part of the nerve in your body that governs whether you're in fight or flight or in rest and relaxation. So as you shift your breathing, you're sending signals to your vagus nerve to move into rest and digest and to relax your body overall. And so it's just like, it's the best. Yeah. But breath work, can be hard to stick to. And with Muse, what we do is we have audio guides that actually follow your own breath. So it's tracking how well you're sticking to the 4-4-4 beat and how well you're staying with the practice and giving you audio feedback to encourage you. It's kind of like having a breath coach right there, looking at you and seeing how you're breathing and giving you encouragement to stick with the protocol.
Yeah. So how would you recommend is, a good practice to using the Muse? Like, how do you use it and what do you think is, optimal?
Awesome. So we have many different forms of meditation inside of Muse. The mind meditation is really the sort of key form to use every day. Mind is built on a focused attention practice, and it's the thing that's teaching you when your mind is focused on your breath and when your mind is wandering. So this is the key skill of being in the present moment on your breath, of being able to observe your mind as it wanders, being able to build metacognition, being able to take your mind off of a wandering thought like, oh my God, it's so hot, or oh no, that guy was a jerk, or whatever, and bring your attention back onto your breath and be able to let go of those thoughts. So it fundamentally helps you transform your relationship with your thinking. It's key. Yeah. Then we have heart meditations where you can actually listen to the beating of your heart like the beating of a drum. So on the Muse, there's sensors that track your brain, EEG sensors. There's the heart rate sensor that tracks the beating of your heart. And you can actually learn to listen to your own heart rate and when it slows up and when it speeds down. And then you can, for example, bring in a breathing practice to slow down your heart rate and see the effect of that. So you can actually see your data and see what your heart and your mind and your breath are doing all together. Yeah. Then we have stillness meditations, the sleep meditation. So a whole sleep section filled with content to help you fall asleep, to stay asleep, to let go of anger before sleep, deal with whatever it is that might be keeping you from sleeping. And then a massive library of over 500 different guided meditations that are with you for whatever you're dealing with in life. If you're frustrated in line for 2 minutes, we have a meditation for that. Yeah. If you're going on a date and you're nervous, there's meditations to help you there too. Performance, leadership, sports, and the whole gamut of it. Yeah.
No, it's like I said, it's my favorite new device that I'm using right now. And it's not just, a whole plethora of meditations and visualizations and everything else in there, but the education that you have in there as well. So you're like, oh, I'm not quite sure what breathwork means, or I'm not quite sure what this kind of meditation is. There's recordings in there of everything that you need to know, so that when you start to go into that meditation, you're completely aware of what the purpose of that meditation is, what you're going to experience, why you're doing it, which makes the process so much easier, because it's not like you're trying to guess what's going on. And like, I don't know if I'm doing this right or not. You just know, it's taken all the guesswork out of it.
That's the goal.
Yeah. We have a link that'll be in the show notes, where you'll be able to go through the website. But what is the website, Ariel, so we can make sure people who are listening know where to go to be able to get their hands on one of these?
Sure. You can go to choosemuse.com. So that's the website. And then we have a special gift for your audience, which is 20% off and a free subscription. So if you go to choosemuse.com/mindmovies, CHOOSEMUSE.com/mindmovies, then you'll be able to access the Not Over Just Different discount code.
Beautiful. So if you are listening to this podcast and you have struggled with your meditation practice, and it's not that this helps to guide you and keep you on track, but it kind of makes it fun. Like it's, and there's so many different meditations to choose from. If you've heard me teach before, the two non-negotiables for me are gratitude practice and meditation. And so, if you want something that's going to be able to help you to stay on track with that and make it fun and easy for you, then I really encourage you to go to choosemuse.com/mindmovies, and then be able to take advantage of that discount and start using this device today. Like I said, it's been instrumental for me, because I don't meditate in the mornings, because my brain is just like really wide and going on. But in the afternoons, when I need that reset, rather than go for coffee, I will do a meditation, and it just helps me to reset again for the afternoon. Then I'm ready to go again. So Ariel, I just want to thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for everything that you've done to create, this amazing device for people to really help to change their whole demeanor, like their whole, energy in the way that they navigate through life, so that, they're not off kilter and, getting angry at every little thing, that they're actually able to navigate with a lot of calmness and groundedness.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been our goal in building this to help bring more people to the practice of meditation, and it's just a ridiculous honor that it actually is being fulfilled. We actually have 200 studies that have used Muse in various ways and demonstrated the outcomes. We're talking about menopause, and probably the greatest honor in my entire life is that the Mayo Clinic is currently running a study with Muse for women going through menopause to help them with their sleep. So it's like, when you build something, you're like, okay, I hope it works. We've tested it. It seems to be good. And then people start using it. And then the Mayo Clinic comes to you, and they've just published a study with their healthcare workers actually using Muse with their doctors in the front line, showing that it decreased burnout. And those are the moments in your life when you're like, oh my God, I can't believe, it's such an honor.
Yeah. And the thing is, and I don't know if you know this, but I know a lot of, women listening to the podcast, our brains are completely recalibrating as we go through menopause.
Yes.
I actually was reading an article yesterday where, they were doing autopsies on menopausal women, and the hypothalamus is actually twice the size as we're going through, this whole recalibration. So if you have a practice like this that really helps you to, while your brain is being rewired, it's being rewired in a way that's going to be, in a positive way, you're really helping that process along, which, rather than just being stressed and freaking out and thinking, I don't know what's going on, you're actually helping the process along, Yeah. So thanks again, Ariel, and looking forward to chatting to you again soon.
Thank you so much, Natalie. Have a magnificent and beautiful day.